Have you ever asked yourself why? As we get older, the distance between the sofa and the floor seems to grow impossibly vast. Here in America, we live in a culture that idolizes convenience. We wake up in high, soft beds, eat breakfast at elevated dining tables, drive cars to offices to sit in swivel chairs, and end the long day by sinking into a soft sofa in front of the TV. Modern life seems designed for us to never have to touch the ground. We see this as enjoyment, as the reward for our labor. But as a doctor who has turned 60, and also as a friend traveling with you down the ladder slope of life, I have to tell you a somewhat harsh truth. This very comfort is silently stealing the strength in our legs. I've spent over half my life in clinics across the United States, witnessing patients in their 70s and 80s who own enormous wealth, yet cannot get up on their own if they happen to slip and fall in their luxurious homes. They have everything, except for the freedom of their own bodies. Meanwhile, on the other side of the globe, in rural Japan, I see 90-year-old elders still squatting to weed their gardens, getting up and down dozens of times a day without needing assistance, and certainly without any expensive exercise machines. Where does the difference lie? It's not genetic destiny, nor is it expensive supplements. The secret lies right beneath our feet, in a place we in the West have long forgotten, the ground. We often believe that to stay healthy in our twilight years, we need to go to the gym, lift weights, or run on lifeless machines. But in reality, the human body was designed for far more primal movements. When we stop sitting down on the floor, we send a signal to the brain that says, I no longer need this range of motion, and the body, which is a clever yet ruthless energy-saving machine, immediately obeys. It withdraws strength from your thigh muscles, stiffens your hips, and most importantly, it steals your balance. In medicine, we call this muscle loss sarcopenia, a silent killer, but I prefer to call it by a more common name, the price of convenience. Today, I'm not here to prescribe medicine for you. I am here to invite you to join me in re-examining the way we live. We won't be talking about strenuous workouts. We will be talking about a philosophy of life, a small Japanese habit that contains a miraculous revitalizing power, a habit that can help both you and me retain our dignity and pride until the very end. Brew a cup of tea, get comfortable, and listen to the story of ground-level living, an elixir of longevity that no pharmacy will ever sell you. The 4 pillars of FREDOM. Thank you for listening. We have recognized that the soft sofa is a sweet deception. Now, we are going to reverse the problem. We will explore the 4 pillars of freedom that this simple lifestyle brings, along with a concrete action strategy. I, the silent killer and reactive poeri, want to begin with the most critical point, the one that, in my profession, determines the quality of life for the elderly. It is the fight against sarcopenia age-related muscle loss. In our 60s and 70s, we start noticing that climbing stairs is no longer as easy as it once was. But the real issue is not how fast or slow you climb, but your ability to react to the unexpected. Our muscles have 2 main fiber types: slow-twitch muscle fibers type 1 and fast-twitch muscle fibers type 2. Type 1 fibers are the resilient warriors. They help you walk long distances, do chores all day, or run marathons. But type 2 fibers are your true saviors. They are responsible for explosive, lightning-fast movements like the burst needed to get up from a chair, or more critically, the reflex to grab a railing when you trip on a curb. Unfortunately, sarcopenia attacks our type 2 fibers first and fastest. This explains why someone can still walk for 30 minutes every day but is prone to falling when they unexpectedly trip on a rug. Walking trains type 1, but it completely fails to prepare you for the burst capacity of type II. So, what does the Japanese method accomplish? They don't lift weights, but every time they get up from the floor, their bodies are forced to engage a massive amount of type 2 fibers. That is an explosive reaction, a demand for speed and strength to lift the entire body against gravity. When you sit in a high chair, your body only needs a fraction of that strength. But when you sit on the floor and try to stand up, that is a 100% demand on your muscles. The Japanese have inadvertently, but extremely effectively, trained these precious fast-twitch muscle fibers thousands of times over their lives. You don't need to sprint to have strong type 2 fibers. You just need to not allow yourself to retire from those powerful, sudden movements like getting up from the floor. That is the ultimate weapon, not just against sarcopenia, but against the fear of falling itself. 2. The philosophy of ground-level living, the cultural core. Now, let's set the science aside and look at the philosophy of life. The Japanese secret is not exercise. It is the art of integrated living. In traditional Japanese homes, sitting on the floor is a ritual. It demonstrates respect, promotes tranquility, and most importantly, it forces people to interact with their environment proactively. Think about the simplest habits. Taking off shoes, they balance on one foot, bend slightly, or squat. This is a natural act of balance and stretching. Folding laundry, preparing tea, they kneel or sit cross-legged on the floor. This posture automatically corrects spinal alignment and stimulates circulation. Eating a meal on a tatami mat forces them to sit upright, as they wouldn't be able to lift the bowl gracefully otherwise. Here is the wonder: they never think, I am exercising now. They are simply living. They are not working out. They are participating in life. In American culture, we separate life from fitness. You must go to the gym at 6 a.m., and then you sit and rest. Japanese culture is the opposite. Life is the workout. This habit cultivates a type of quiet strength. It is not loud, it doesn't require machines, but it constantly reminds your body, I am still active, I am still participating. This is a profound lesson for us, who often wait for pain before we start changing. The Japanese preserve their strength through thousands of small, repetitive movements throughout their lifetime. 3. When every stand-up is a perfect squat, the physics in the gym. We call the squat the king of exercises. Why? Because it engages the most muscle groups simultaneously. But what about a squat onto a chair? It's too easy. It doesn't require a full range of motion. A squat to the floor is different. Every time you lift your body from a seated position on the ground, whether cross-legged, kneeling, or seiza, into a standing position, it is not just a squat. It is a comprehensive test of hip flexibility, quadriceps strength, core stability, and balance all at once. Let's quickly analyze a slow stand-up. 1. The prep phase. You must lean forward, shifting your weight onto one or both legs. This is when the core must brace. 2. The drive phase. You use your thigh and glute muscles to push your body weight vertically, against gravity. 3. The lockout phase. You must use your calf muscles to stabilize your posture when you stand straight, fighting any wobble. As we age, we often lose the ability to move through different planes of motion. We primarily move forward and backward walking. Getting up from the floor forces us to move laterally, diagonally, and rotationally, and this is precisely what helps maintain the range of motion in the hip joint, one of the joints that freezes up the fastest. Do not view this as a chore. See every stand-up as a gift you give your legs, a daily event to remind your body, we can still do this. For retaining dignity and independence, the emotional why die high and dear friends. After all is said and done, the issue is not just about muscles. It is about the spirit. I have seen many of my patients experience mild depression after losing their mobility. When you cannot get up from a chair on your own, you begin to feel like a burden. This feeling destroys self-respect more than any disease. The Japanese call this ikigai, a reason for being. Maintaining mobility is part of that life purpose. When you can still cook for yourself, tend to your small garden, or kneel to pray, you are sending a powerful message. I am still useful. I still belong to myself. While Western culture often encourages elders to rest more and be careful, Japanese culture encourages participation and self-responsibility. They understand that excessive protection creates the very weakness we fear. Every time you get up from the floor on your own, it is not just a physical movement, it is a personal declaration. It is the whisper, I am still fighting. I am not giving up my independence. Look at it this way, your independence doesn't disappear overnight. It is gradually eroded by every day you choose not to use the muscles that are meant to carry you. Returning to the floor is the choice to reverse that erosion. V. How do you start today? The 30-day strategy, the how-to bana. Many of us, myself included, probably feel excited but also a little intimidated. I haven't sat on the floor in 20 years. My knees won't survive this. And this is exactly where wisdom and the 30-day strategy mentioned in the video comes in. This isn't a military-style boot camp. It's a gentle, respectful return to your own body. Rule number 1. Respect your current limits. Don't push. If you feel sharp pain, stop. The goal is to rebuild strength, not injure yourself. Week 1. Reconnect and observe the week of lightness action. Choose a thick pillow, cushion, or yoga mat. Sit on the floor for just 1 to 2 minutes a day. No need to stand up immediately afterward. Position. Sit near a wall or a sturdy chair for support. Goal. Simply feel. Listen to what your knees, hips, and back are telling you. Try different positions, cross-legged, legs to the side. Week 2. Strengthen and start moving the week of awakening action. Increase your floor sitting time to 3 minutes. Start practicing getting up 1 to 2 times per session. Support. Use your hands, your knees, the wall, or a chair. This is not cheating. This phase retrains your brain and muscles to work together safely. Assistance is essential. Adan, try folding laundry, or reading a book while sitting on the floor. Week 3. Integrate into daily life the week of habit. Action. Eat 1 meal or drink tea, coffee on the floor once a week. Goal. Create a ritual. This forces your body to adapt to a low sitting position for longer periods. And you'll notice your posture improving. Awareness. Some mild muscle soreness is normal. That's a sign your muscles are waking up, not being damaged. Week 4. Build your identity the week of confidence. Action. Practice standing up from the floor 5 times a day with gradually less support. Goal. Choose a fixed time each day for this habit. Consider pairing it with household tasks. Watering plants on your knees. Retrieving items from lower cabinets. Success indicator. After 30 days, you won't be an athlete, but getting out of bed will feel easier. And you'll move with more confidence when bending or reaching. A message from Mitha, most important thing isn't how many reps you can do. It's the fact that you chose not to surrender to physical decline. Remember, strength isn't the ability to lift heavy things. It's the ability to refuse giving up. The promise of freedom. We've gone on quite a journey together, from America's soft, comfortable chairs to the humble tatami floors of Japan. I'm not asking you to redesign your home or abandon convenience, but I hope you've changed your perspective on one thing: your own hidden strength. This close-to-the-ground habit isn't some magical anti-aging trick. It's a philosophical choice, a choice to stay engaged with life, to never retire. From the most fundamental movements of being human, let's revisit the 5 powerful gifts this habit brings to us in our 50s and 60s. To 1. A grounded lifestyle. It turns your daily life into exercise and transforms stillness into strength, because you never withdraw from movement. 2. The golden squat mechanism. Every time you stand up, you're performing a perfect functional test, keeping your hips flexible and your range of motion intact. 3. Resistance against sarcopenia. You're protecting those precious fast-twitch muscle fibers. Type 2. Maintaining reflexes and balance that prevent falls. 4. The 30-day strategy. A gentle, respectful roadmap that reconnects you with your body's abilities, not a race, but a homecoming. 5. Independence and autonomy. The most important message of all. Strong legs mean dignity, freedom, and the ability to choose how you want to live. Strength doesn't disappear, my friends, it merely falls asleep. It hides in the muscles we stop using and beneath the layers of comfort modern life piles on us. As we grow older, our world can begin to shrink from long trips to everyday activities. But the ability to rise from the floor is a personal revolution. Small, quiet, sacred. Remember this: you only grow weaker when you stop using what you have. Don't wait until pain shows up, or until a doctor prescribes painkillers. Act as soon as you feel even a little hesitation, a little wobble when you bend down. Your body is listening. It's waiting for your signal. Now look at the floor in your home, your rug, your carpet. Maybe you haven't sat there in years. Place a pillow down. Sit for just 2 minutes. You don't need to move to Japan. You don't need expensive equipment. You only need to make one small, steady decision. I will not abandon my legs. Thank you for listening. Start today. Strength and freedom are waiting for you right there on the floor. Goodbye, and stay healthy.